What's up, Gavin? How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I am doing adequate.
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 Okay, that's good. That's better than bad.
Yeah.
Would you say it's also better than fair?
So let me ask you a question real quick.
Yeah,
So you know how they say life isn't fair?
sure.
If life isn't fair for everyone, doesn't that make life fair? If,
Well,
if
I
you
think,
expect the unexpected, does that mean the unexpected is expected?
well, I see you're trying to give me paradoxical conundrums to think about, to ponder even. But what I would say to that is, I feel as though fair would be on like a spectrum or a scale. So, if, for example, when you say fair, do you mean fair as in like equally fair per person? Because
No, like there's like
something
a
that
Ferris
would
wheel outside. Like,
Well, I'm just saying, like something that's not as fair to me one day might be nothing compared to how something is unfair to you. So technically, we would still have a margin of fairness to discuss or to kind of
let
go
me
about.
ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you had one shot,
Yep.
one opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to seize anything you ever wanted
Yeah.
in one moment,
Uh huh.
would you capture it
No.
or let it
Probably
slip?
not. No, I say probably not.
Palms are sweating. Are you nervous? So what are we talking about today, Gav?
Oh, something I think you and I would enjoy a little bit. It's we're gonna talk about the good show we just finished,
Mm-hmm.
Succession.
Dude.
What do you think about that?
Dude, I remember, because I'm weird with shows. I want to watch them all the time, but I'll just watch TikTok or just go to bed. 'Cause, work sucks.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you understand how that works.
Yeah.
But then you're like, Matt, you have to watch the show. You have to watch the show. And I was like, okay.
I did talk to you about it for a while.
You did, without a doubt, and that's on me. But then I was like, you know what? Gavin is like 20 for 20 on shows. So let's see if he's 21 for 21, right? And then I went and I watched it, and I remember watching like the first 3 episodes. I'm like, dude, I'm locked in, man.
I don't miss.
I don't miss.
I don't miss, buddy.
And I have to admit, the ending. And I'm not trying to jump. I'm just saying, like, this show, the way it ended, everything like that, and the way that you really get engulfed into the show,
Yeah.
it ruined my life.
It's pretty crazy.
Crazy.
That was a crazy one.
But yeah, dude, it was great. It was a fantastic suggestion. And it's about
Yeah, let's jump into it.
yeah, we'll just jump into we're gonna go
All
over.
right,
There
so-
will be spoilers though, guys. Just a heads up, so you understand that we're gonna be going over the show and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go ahead.
So, okay, so I'm going to give a little bit of background on how I started watching the show.
Okay.
So, I found the show from TikTok, honestly. It was one of those things where I kept seeing, like, ads for it on, like, from, like, HBO Max. And I never had HBO Max, but I would see, like, on TikTok or YouTube or something, it's like, it would pop up and be like, hey, HBO Max is offering these shows this month, whatever. And so I was like, all right. And so when I originally got HBO Max to watch, like, The Sopranos and other shows, so I saw Succession on there, and I was like, oh, okay, like, I'll give this a try.
Sure.
Didn't at the time. Then saw a TikTok where there was, like, top 5 shows on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
Succession was, like, number 1 or 2. And I was like, all right, I'm going to try it. And, yeah. So it started. So the show basically is about, like, a rundown of what the show is about is, it's a dad, a father who's just so happens to be a billionaire, who owns a multi, what would it be, like, transatlantic or intercontinental multimedia corporation.
Yeah, he's like George Soros's level kind of rich.
Yeah, he's like beyond fuck you rich.
Yeah.
And so he has 4 kids. And the whole show is primarily based on who's going to be his successor, obviously, as the show's called Succession. So, he's trying to decide who's going to be his next up, the next in command. And let me tell you what, season 1 started off pretty strong.
Oh yeah.
But it gave us a good insight into. I feel like it gave us a really good insight into who Kendall was, and a decent insight into the rest of them. But I feel like it was centered around Kendall.
Sorry.
And for those of us that who don't know,
What?
live.
Oh, dude. You. You know, we jumped into it, and I was like, I didn't even think about it, and then I was like, why is he pausing? Of course, it doesn't even matter what.
I'm high. I'm from outer space.
No,
Yeah. It's following a lot to do with Kendall, especially in the first couple episodes.
mm-hmm.
You know, but you kind of got a taste of like, okay, each one of his kids. So who do we have? Kendall, Roman, Connor, and Shiv.
Yeah.
Right.
Connor's the eldest.
Connor's the oldest, but he's not considered like.
Because he's not. What's his face?
He's not their mom's kid. He's just their dad's kid.
He was his first marriage.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, going through the whole show, tell me what you think about the first, just kind of like when you watch the first season, right? Did you think things were actually going to get better, like between the family, or did you think like, this is just like a glimpse into what we're going to see? Like,
yeah. So the thing is like I take a lot of things into account, right? I know that at the time I thought there was 5 seasons, but then you learn there's 4. But it's like obviously in your mind you have to go, well, they have to tell a story. So there's 4 seasons, right? And after the first season, you're like, oh my gosh, this is just gonna get worse, because the way that it ended, right, and the way that things were going, you're just like, I don't think he's gonna find a successor. I don't know what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen to the family? You're just kind of like, it's a bunch of what ifs.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
So now, did you think that? Oh, and spoilers, obviously. But
Yeah.
Did you think that? Did you think that the dad was gonna, like, Logan was gonna stay sick, or did you think he was gonna, like? Did you? Because like when I first watched the show, when I first started, I was like, oh, we're probably gonna see him, probably die after
dismount. Yeah.
like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I thought it was gonna be more like his leaving of the company was going to be in the first season, and then the rest of the show was going to be based upon like, can so and so keep the company,
Yeah. So I mean that's hard, because you see when he has that big accident. Well, accident. It was a heart attack or aneurysm.
Yeah, it was like a
stroke
or something. Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know if it's gonna get better, because a lot of those cases they don't. And in your head, it's like, okay, well, now it's like the father's dying. Maybe in like season 2, whatever it is, he does die, and then it's up to those 3, 4, really 3, and they're like, well, now it's on them. Now they have the higher ups, the exec board. So what did you think after he has that big accident, trying to figure out what's going on? What did you think coming into season 2?
Well, going from season 1, where we saw Kendall screw the pooch on a couple different deals and investments and things along those lines, we got a good inauguration or good introduction to a lot of the background characters, but more so just them as background characters.
Yeah.
We got to see how the family worked, and we got to see how the kids really were there for their dad, but their dad wasn't fully there.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? He wasn't quite there yet. And how you can kind of get that undertone of like cynicism from him, and like, like, okay, I don't want any of them to,
yeah.
So going into season 2, I really thought there was going to kind of be a front runner as like who's going to take over.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
And I think for going into season 2, I think I would have, I really, really thought like, okay, Kendall's going to finally step up, or Shiv's going to step up, or this person's going to do this, or this person, And I mean, I personally thought they gave Roman a little bit too much to chew right off the rip.
What do you mean?
Like they gave, like he didn't do much. He didn't even go through management training. He didn't do anything for the company, and they just gave him what was even his role, like VP.
They gave him like COO or something like that.
Like,
it was like
they gave him VP of like something, and then it was COO or CEO of this or whatever it was. And I was like, dude, he doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And we could see that when he was literally in like one meeting, and they're asking him like actual questions, and he's like, fuck off, like.
Yeah.
So yeah,
which is ironically Macaulay Culkin's brother, which I learned later.
Yeah. So I thought season 2 was going into it. I was like, all right, this is like. I kind of wish there was more of a front runner, because at the time I still thought like, okay, I don't want it to be like a big reveal at the end, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But then obviously the way the show was built was more so like, is there even going to be a successor or not? Who is it going to be always?
Yeah, because even he said it himself. He's like, "There's gonna be no one.
Yeah.
Fuck off."
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was interesting because you're looking at like even Shiv, when they were talking about like the successor, and they're all outside of like his room, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. And she's like, "I don't even want it."
Well, because she was still with Gil and them, right? As
Yeah,
like
in the DNC, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as the show progressed, I think her leaving the DNC was kind of dumb, and the way it happened a little bit. Because I mean,
agree.
like she spent the last however many years doing it,
Yeah.
and like perfecting it, and then she just whatever,
Fuck off.
this isn't working for me, like
Yeah.
Also, Shiv is a terrible character, like a terrible person is a character,
Yeah.
Yeah,
her character, I think genuinely like.
It's top 5. It's got to be top 5 worst female characters on a show.
Yeah. But see, the thing is that does show to her like the actors acting.
Oh yeah,
It's like she can do such a good job at acting to where we feel that way.
Oh yeah,
That's what I'm saying. So not hats off to her, but oh yeah, and even Ken too.
Yeah,
dude. Sometimes I'm like, Ken, shut up.
Yeah,
Shut
stop
your
talking.
Mouth. I'm like, brother.
Or open your mouth. Like please say something.
Yes.
But I like they're great actors.
Oh yeah.
I really like how they really made me, everybody on the show, like there was never a point on the show where I saw somebody and I was like, okay, not really believable, or like, okay, it's a little, you know what I mean?
It's a little, yeah.
Like I always kind of had that thought of like, okay, this is like, what's next? And I got so immersed into it,
Oh, yeah.
But one of the things I really, really liked about the show was how manipulative Logan was, because he had so much going on at one point, like he was setting the undertones, right?
Yeah.
From season 1 into season 2. And you can tell things were kind of starting to happen behind the scenes because maybe Kendall wasn't invited to a meeting, or he wasn't invited to talk. It was just him and Roman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I think it was one of those things where you're looking at it, you're like, okay, he went from like feeble and weak,
Yeah.
and he's like now reclaiming his empire. And at one point, like you're looking around like, this dude's saying 50 different things to 50 different people, and nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And so let me ask you this. If you were in that company, who would you have sided in season like 1 or 2? Who would you have picked? Like, who would you have sided with?
Okay, are you giving me the option of just those 3? Like the Roman, Ken, Shiv?
Yeah, because Connor wasn't around yet.
I also don't think anyone at any point in the show would have even considered
Well, he
him.
almost had 1%.
We'll get to that fucking shit show. Honestly, it's gonna sound stupid, but you have to break it down. Shiv didn't want it, right? And she was, and with ATN, they're big like network, kind of like like CBS, NBC, like these with their show with ATM. She was completely against it, hated everything about it, right? Roman is just Roman, and the thing is, in season 1 and 2, it's hard because it's like Kendall's this drug loving, whatever it is, but he does know the business.
Yeah.
And I think if at that point I probably would have sided with Kendall, because I do think at some point, the higher ups would have helped him out. They would have figured it out, and then he probably would have straightened out. I do think he would have, which you start seeing in 3 and 4. But we'll get to that. Now, what about you? You have those 3. Season 2 is finished. Who do you think?
I would have sided with Kendall.
Okay.
I think going with Ken was probably the smartest choice.
That's what I think too.
But at the same time, none of them by them. Like if none of them, like if there was a choice between them 3, I would have picked Kendall. But if there was a choice of those 3 out of a room of 50 different people, I wouldn't have chosen any of them.
Same with me.
Like I don't know. I think when it comes to Kendall, I think he's just hooked on drugs. He can't get his life together in terms of like having his family and whatever. And I just think that like he didn't really. He wanted it, but not because he wanted to run the company. He wanted it for the status, for like the
power, the money.
power. Like and that's the thing is like, I think if and that's like that was his downfall. Roman was just all kinds of messed up. That dude had some serious issues. But Shiv annoyed me because like like Kendall would have an idea and think it's the greatest idea in the world, do it 90% of the way, and then go, oh, it's a stupid idea.
Yeah.
Roman would just leech off of whoever he could at the time, like his dad or whoever,
Yeah.
to get what he wanted. But then Shiv was like, if you just like looked at her a certain way, she was like, she like made her think she was smart. She was like, oh, yeah, clearly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when she was with Tom, they're on their wedding night, she's like, having a mental breakdown because she told her husband that she wants a monogamous relationship on their wedding night, and he got mad, and then she breaks down and manipulates Tom into feeling bad somehow.
Bro.
But that, you know what I mean? And then it's like,
Dude, that I'm not gonna lie to you. That scene pissed me off.
oh, dude,
Because not that like in any way, shape, or form, like, do you think so much be controlling? But like when you're in a relationship, you just got married. Like, I mean, my history with my family, right?
Yeah.
And the issue is like when I see that, I'm just like, dude, you're a fucking scumbag.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is with Tom, it's like I saw him as this like golden retriever type deal situation. I'm like, dude, I think this guy loves you. Like, why are you? And then you invite the guy.
Oh.
What was his name? Gil? Or no?
That was
Gil was the candidate.
yeah.
Oh,
what was it, Steven or something? So not Steven. That was I forget.
Yeah, I forget. Yeah, we just a little time, but yeah, dude, it was. I was like, that's just wild. And then when he starts messing around,
well, that's the thing, is it's so stupid to me because like they're together and they're like, okay, we're gonna work on this thing for Gil and like make it a serious thing, and then the guy's like, the last time we worked together, we like fucked more than we worked. And she's like, that's not how it's going to be this time. And then the dude every 2 seconds was like, I can't take my eyes off you. I think you're attractive. I would like to sleep with you.
Can I see your arm?
Yeah.
That was a weird scene.
Yeah, it was weird. And I think she was really good at manipulation because she was good at telling somebody, like she told Tom what he wanted to hear or what he thought he needed and then rolled with it. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, she also worked in the politics.
That's what I mean.
No matter how you look at it on either side.
She was just like her dad in that sense. Like she was very manipulative and say like, okay, you obviously want me and you just be just you and me, but I just and like create this false narrative of like whatever, And Tom was like a cuck for not standing up for himself, but at the same time, it's all about give and take. I feel like to them, having the money and the status of being with Siobhan Roy is better than not. You know what I mean?
He did say something later on. I think it was in like season 3. It was like, "Do you?" Or no, he goes, "Is the pain being without you lesser than the pain being with you?"
Yeah.
I was like, dude.
Yeah. I mean, think about it too. I mean, with her, she had this like air, like this walking around this aura of like superiority in like every conversation and everything. And I'm like, dude, you don't have it. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sorry.
So like, and like, it was just one thing after the next. Everybody was messing up deals. Everybody was messing up things. Like, none of them deserved to take over the company.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think the most like their dad was probably Shiv.
I would agree. And a lot of the times, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think Shiv should run it.
Yeah.
Because when he going into, I think it was season 3, right? If you get my things right, is he?
I think he made her president.
Yeah, but he was like, "This is real. We're gonna do this."
That's when she left Gil.
Yeah, and that I was like, you know what, I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing against a female CEO. I'm like, you know what, like she's done a lot of stuff. She's smart, like yada yada yada. But dude, that season got wild.
Yeah, I think what also was kind of so stupid was like, I enjoyed it as like entertainment, but it was also like so like come on, where it was like every 2 minutes it was like, you know what, Kendall, it's you. You know what, Roman, it's you. You know what, Shiv, it's you. And then they gets up on stage. Who are you going to announce? We haven't decided yet. I'm staying firm. And I'm like, dude, come on, bro.
So what was it? End of season 2 or end of season 3 where? Oh wait, so I know it was in season 3. They had the whole DOJ situation, right?
Yeah, that was the beginning of season 3, I think.
Yeah. So basically, when that whole thing came out, there was a bunch of things with their cruise liners.
Yeah.
They were like using girls for prostitution and all this kind of stuff, and it all kind of came out because of a whistleblower.
Yeah.
Now the DOJ is looking into it, and that
It's terrifying.
was terrifying.
Well, so they had a lot of good storylines from season 2 into season 3 because
Oh, yeah.
you had Kendall trying to take over the company from Logan, and he had it, dude.
With Stewie.
He literally had it. Like, he had it. Up until, we're not going to say, but he had it.
Yeah.
Up until he didn't.
Yeah.
So
That's good. Well, yeah, we'll leave that one out. That's good.
he really had the world in his like little world was his oyster.
He had his dad's ball in his hand.
Yeah,
It was
everyone knew it, and then but
stay away from drugs, kids.
yes, and then what? Then we obviously saw in season 1, end of season 1 where Greg was like getting rid of all the files. That was season 1, right?
Yeah. But then he kept the
Then he kept the backups. And then they were like, and then everything started coming out. And dude, when they were like in front of, like when they were like, what is that? Senate or not Senate, but Congress.
Congress, yeah.
They were like getting questioned. And dude,
Tom
was
screwed
rough.
the pooch.
Do you know a Gregory Hirsch? No, you don't know.
You don't know?
What? Yes. I mean,
Yes.
yes. In that, I wasn't sure how you were referring. With that sense, yes, I know of him.
Screwed the pooch.
Like-
That was embarrassing.
And then yelled at Greg for screwing it up. I was
Yeah.
like,
Dude, it was his Greggy.
dude, I love Greg.
Dude, I
He's
love
probably
Greg.
my favorite character.
Dude, what was so funny was like I didn't know the angle of which his mom was working him, or she was just tired of him. But like I remember when he first showed up, you see him working at the amusement parks. He's
Yeah.
in like this like costume, and I don't really remember exactly what happened in the situation, but he threw up,
Yeah.
and it's like coming out of the eyes, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, what is happening right now?
Then he wanted a job, or
Yeah,
he wanted money.
yeah.
Then, hey,
What did they call themselves? The Dirty Brothers.
the disgusting
The
brothers.
Disgusting Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Listen, man.
they were getting around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's
Yeah.
what happens. Like, he was free to do what he wanted.
Yeah.
I thought it was great where he was like, when they were on vacation, or they were in like Italy, and he's like talking to the one girl, but then he's like, oh, so I started talking to her, and she's like a duchess or something.
Yeah.
I could be like the Dutch of Poland or whatever the fuck I was,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, he was working at both at the same party.
Oh yeah, literally at the wedding.
Yeah, the wedding. Yeah. I don't know, dude. And you know what's interesting too is like the mom, like the three mom, Shiv, Ken, Roman. Their mom was just such an interesting character in and of herself. She was kind of a cunt.
Oh, she was huge.
Yeah, but it was just interesting because it's like you have this dad who is literally more powerful than like Jeff Bezos,
Yeah.
and then it's like, then you have this mom who is pretty powerful and has all this money, and she's in Italy, right?
No, she lived
Or
in London.
Lives in
Or
London.
England of some kind, and then
Okay.
she lived in England, I think. And then yeah, and then it was outside of America.
Yeah.
And then she had the wedding in Italy.
It's oh my god, yeah, dude, it was bad. And like what's even wild too is even this was in season 2, Shiv's wedding, with the whole Stewie thing taking over
Yeah.
the acquisition on Shiv's wedding night.
Oh, fuck it.
I thought it was wild though.
It was crazy.
Cause
Like, he was literally getting dressed for the wedding, and
Stewie.
Ken walks in and he's like, "Yeah, we got you by the balls," and then he leaves. You know what I mean? Like work never stopped, And I think if Ken, like, if it's just so like, dude, if he didn't make that one thing happen,
when you guys see when it happens,
kind of feel bad for Stewie.
dude.
Poor guy.
What did I say to you? Was it last night? 2 nights ago?
Maybe.
I was like, every time Stewie sided with Kendall, something would happen,
Yeah.
and then he'd lose.
Yeah.
Say, oh yeah, bro, just trust me, bro. Be on my side. All right, cool, got you.
False though.
falls through.
Like he never like apologized or like
Yeah.
it's just one thing after the next.
Same thing happened at the end too.
So so all of that was going on. So then what? We're talking about season 4.
Yeah.
Season 4 had a lot going on. I don't want to talk about too much, but what do you think? Like when the big event happened, right in the middle of season 4.
Big event.
Yeah. When something big happened. Pretty big.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
What would you say?
Right.
Do you think that was done well, or do you think it was a little? It was supposed to be a surprise factor, but do you think it was kind of ham-fisted a little bit?
So I think I thought about this. So I think because they didn't do 5 seasons or whatever it was, they didn't get contracted, whatever the situation was. I do think it was a little hand-fisted because it's weird because you knew it had to happen,
Right.
but the thing is like no one's gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? There's not gonna be no physical person doing that act. And then I don't know, dude. I just think when it came to him, I think it had to happen like that.
Yeah.
Because then it sets everything up for the end.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why, like, Shiv can say what she said. Because and like, look at it this way: when Madsen, right, when they're on the hill and like Roman goes haywire, and he says that line, which we don't want to take too much away because this really isn't a fantastic show. 27 Emmys, right? I think
something like that.
Some of that 23, 27. I think that line got them to like 197. I think it was. He gave him like some ridiculous number.
Yeah. That was nuts when he just said, he was like he's like when Roman went off, and then he's like he just bumps up the offer by like 30 million or whatever.
Yeah. We're happy with 146. If we can get to 150, it's good.
I thought it was great when he was like, what did he was like? I think your father got this on like for $5 million. And he's like, oh, that's a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dude, what? Like,
yeah,
they were uber rich.
Well, see, that's what's so funny. That show screwed up money for me for a little bit because when he goes, yeah, Dad had this on a deal for like $5 million. Oh, not a bad price at all.
Yeah, it's good fine.
Because like to them, like realistically, $1 million is like $100 or $1,000 less.
Yeah, like when they have hundreds and hundreds and literally billions. Like, what is 5 million?
It's crazy. It really is. And what blows my mind too, like dude, the money they have, and like I looked this up, like it literally, they would laugh in Jeff Bezos' face.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
Cause I was like, I wonder like how much. And that's a calculation. I'm like,
well,
so he's like Soros rich, not Bezos rich.
It was supposed to be like if like Fox News had, you know what I mean? Like it was supposed to be like that level.
Well, I mean, ATN was kind of like basically it was the right wing.
That's what I'm saying. Like it was, it was. They couldn't actually say Fox or CBS or ABC, but like it was supposed to be that same concept of like they were that big.
Yeah.
You know.
Election night was wild too.
I know. Election night was crazy.
That was insane.
But what do you think? So let me ask you this: for the whole show, if you had one thing you could change, either timing or just change the whole event, have it happen, have something not happen, what would you say you would change?
That's hard, dude. Honestly, the biggest thing I'd change would be the night at Shiv's wedding. The big event.
Yeah.
That like had his balls in his hand. Everything was set. The acquisition was going to go through.
You stole mine, dude.
Did I? I'm sorry. Okay. Well, all right. Then I'll ask you the same question, and I'll follow up with a different question to give you something. What else would you change? You can choose the same thing, or you can.
I would definitely choose that. But if I was going to pick something else, I would probably have changed the whole Roman rocket ship thing because
I forgot about that.
Exactly. That was a really big event that I feel like kind of just got like swept under the rug.
Yeah,
Like,
weren't they at her wedding or something?
yeah,
Like that?
so like nobody talked about it, and I was like, that's like a serious prison time thing. Like
Yeah.
that's like a really
Well,
big
because
fuck up.
it wasn't someone like lost like a leg and a bunch of thumbs. And
Yeah,
stuff like that?
it's like that's a really big thing. I feel like, and they touched on it here and there, but I'm like, come on.
Yeah. After that, I think maybe like an episode after or two, like
Yeah.
no one heard about it.
No, I was like, what happened here?
Now, I know we talked a little bit about this before. How do you feel about loose ends being tied?
I don't think they tied up enough. I think there was a couple things that really should have been done a little bit different, like a little bit more solidified.
Like what?
Like the whole, well, one, I mean, his Logan's girlfriend should have been like a more of a confirmed thing, or a more of like a tied up thing. You know what I mean?
What was her name again?
I don't fucking know. But to have her like roaming around after, I'm like, nah, it's, like I don't know.
Well, she was in the video at the end.
That's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
it was like, okay, it's confirmed, I guess, but like to me, it was always just kind of like tongue in cheek, like they're dating. You know what I mean? But then it was like, oh shit, really?
Yeah.
I think the whole like presidential thing. Like, I wanted to know,
or not Madison.
Madsen,
Madsen,
or something.
or no, Matthew Madsen. It doesn't matter.
But I want to know what happened there. I want to know what was the like why Marsha just got like written off for like half a season.
Okay, cool. So we're on the same page with that because
Where
I
she
was
went.
confused. They touched on it.
She got mad at him at the dinner,
Yeah.
and then she was just gone for a
Yeah.
while.
It was weird. Like they were, and I know like they were like working something or whatever. Because he made a joke about it. Like Logan was like, "Oh, marriage,"
Yeah.
and then like they touched on it one more time. They're like, "Yeah, she's like in Rome or somewhere,
Yeah.
doing whatever." And I'm like, "There's no confirmation." Then you see her again,
She shows up.
and I'm like, "Okay, this makes sense because this is a big event for you to be at." But
Yeah, I don't know. It was just weird to me. Yeah,
I pre-grieved, bro. Don't worry about it.
I want to make sure, like, I wanted to see that to get kind of cleared up. I wanted to kind of get more background, I guess, or more like whatever happened with the Pierces.
Oh yeah. Well, I think
like
in a way that did kind of get. Oh, I guess
what happened? I mean, what happened? Because they put in the offer.
So then they can kill the deal, but the deal went through.
Well, no, they put in the offer, and then
10 billion.
Then Nan was like, "Yeah, we accept," and then or they put in the offer, and then they cut out Waystar, and then it was like, "Cool, we got it," but then nothing happened after that. But then I was like, okay, maybe the deal hasn't gone through, but then later they were talking about we can own both, we could do. And I'm like, well,
We'll have Pearson and ATM.
Yeah, I'm like, that's...
Well, maybe my only thought to that would be that they have it, and they aren't really utilizing it because it's their own like entity, but they own it.
Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, there were
a little bit of gray area there.
I would like to know about the whole president thing, because again, until you called me, right, about how it ended, which is I'm not going to ruin that at all because that was. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Ruined me. Yeah. And if you didn't see it somewhat coming, kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Sorry. But, yeah, dude, that was wild. But again, before that episode, I thought there was 5 seasons.
Yep, same.
So in my head, it was Minkin.
Jared Minkin.
Yeah, I was like, well, I have to know about him. What's going on? Well, they're gonna have to figure out a way to take over Gojo. They're gonna have to figure out a way to win. And
how about Roman straight up lying about him saying he was gonna kill the deal if he got elected? That kind of went a little under the radar.
What do you mean?
So you remember how it was election night and they were like debating whether they're backing like Jimenez or whatever or Minkin? And Roman was like, "Well, I just got off the phone with him and he said straight up, if we elect him or get him elected, he's gonna kill the deal." And then he was like, "Okay." And he's like, in so many words, he goes, "Those words." And then he talked to Kendall talked to him after the election, and he's like, "So about the deal?" And he goes, "Yeah, I said I'd look into it." And you're like, "Oh shit!" So like Roman straight up just lied about it.
Oh, because he wanted them to.
Yeah, they were buddies.
Dude, even at that point, dude, Shiv got caught into a massive lie. Because she's like, oh, what did she say? Oh my gosh. What happened? Help me out. Am I stupid?
With what?
So they're in the conference room. He's like leaning over the chair like this. Kendall's sitting down. Shiv's sitting across from him. And she's like, yeah, calm. He said this. Or,
You talking about? Wait, you talking about when they were at the pool with their moms?
no. It is election night.
Yeah.
They're in the room. And like Kendall gets out, makes a phone call, realizes Shiv's lying.
Oh,
and then
right.
he like talks to Greg,
Yeah.
and they're both staring at her.
Yeah.
What was she lying about?
She was lying about,
That she was working with Madison?
she was working for. Yeah, she was working for the. She was. I think she was trying to play like both sides. of
Right.
the
Yes,
fence.
because the party happened
Yeah,
beforehand,
yeah.
and then they're working election.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was trying to play both sides of the fence. But yeah, dude, I just got so. By season 4, I was so tired of seeing her,
Yeah.
do her thing, and
It was just because the thing is like there's only like obviously it's big, the massive conglomerate, one of the biggest, and it's like billions of dollars around. So like yeah, you're gonna have snakes, but it's like these are your brothers. And then when they were like the co-CEOs,
yeah,
it's like you're worried about them cutting you out, but then you're going behind their back and completely fucking everything.
yeah.
But
So overall, what would you rate the show? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, like out of stars, I guess.
ooh, okay, it's hard. Honestly, dude, I'd give it like a 9.2.
Okay,
9.2 stars.
that's good. That's good rating. Solid rating. I'd probably give like a 9.5.
Okay, good. Solid rating.
Where do you think it rates? Like it ranks for you on your all-time list?
Well, Bernardo is going to be number 1. Just a given.
Yeah.
We should redo that one.
Yeah.
I'd probably say top 3.
Top 3.
Genuinely. Yeah. I think it had everything you wanted. It had multi-billionaires. You felt immersed.
Right.
You had people you loved and then hated and then hated and loved, and then it's like people you never thought you'd like, and then you're like, oh my gosh, like, I kind of understand you.
So what do you think? Let me see if I can guess. Is it Burn Notice, Peaky Blinders, Succession? Or is it Burn Notice?
No, you're right the first time. Everything about you. All right, flip question.
Okay.
You already answered the stars, 9.5.
It's definitely my top 10.
Top 10. Okay.
I'd probably let me see all the shows I would put before it. Just out of like an enjoyment factor, I'd say I'd put Burn Notice ahead of it.
Nice.
I would put Suits for the
Nice.
most part ahead of it. I'd put Sopranos ahead of it, and I'd put Peaky Blinders. So I'd put it at 5.
Okay. That's
But
fair.
Suits and Burn Notice are kind of like they're always going to be up there. So
Yeah.
like if it was without those, because like I objectively they're not great shows.
No, true.
So, but those
They're just special to me.
right. So if it was just objectively good shows, it'd probably have to go like Sopranos, Breaking Bad, Peaky Blinders. I don't even know what else I put up there. Like, probably I put Succession at 4, and then I'd have to put like The Wire or like The Punisher, maybe. I don't know, something like that.
Great show.
So some one of those up there. But that would be my top 5. I'd probably put The Wire in there.
Okay.
The Wire is a great show.
The show was insane. Like when you're not on the phone at like 2 in the morning,
Yeah, I know.
I was like, dude, I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind.
Well, now we need a little palate cleanser.
We do need a palate cleanser. Hi, my name is Michael Weston.
I used to be a spy.
Until get a burner on you. Your black
Blacklisted.
message.
Blacklisted.
Blacklisted. Fucking A.
God, dude.
But
Get with the program, brother.
I am with the program. I am the program.
Wow.
Anything else you want to say?
No, I think we kind of sporadically jumped around.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that on purpose though, because I wanted to kind of talk about it without talking about it in a way.
Yeah, no, it was good, and it really is a great show. And I think Don't quote me on this. I'll correct myself if I have to. But I'm pretty. Is that a recorder in your hand?
No.
Are you recording me right now?
No.
You're recording me right
No,
now.
I'm not. There's nothing.
Oh, your hand's covering it. Yeah. So what? Anyways,
Yeah.
I think they have. I think it's either 23, but I'm pretty sure it's 27 Emmy nominees.
That's pretty nuts.
So yeah,
I thought they were like Lord of the Rings.
yeah, dude, it's crazy, and it was. I did confirm it, and I'm sad that I can't. My phone's up there, but I saw it like on Instagram, and then I saw it on TikTok. I'm like, what? Let me look this up. I'm like, I think it was 23, right?
I don't remember.
But yeah, insane show. You guys have to watch it. We really enjoyed it. I mean, him and I like almost the same stuff anyway, so it was a good bonding experience. Not that we don't bond all the time, but
Yeah, we bond.
hi, I'm Bond, James Bond. See you guys next week.
Fuck off.
Off.